Welcome back to the Lesson 1-1 Part 2 video. We are on page 10, and we're looking at question number 1 here. It says, let's look further into the idea of giving 110% effort. First, explain why a lot of people feel like saying doesn't really make sense. Because it's hard to give more than everything, right? We would consider 100% everything, and it's not really possible to give more than everything. Number 2 says, convert 110% into decimal form. So that's 1.10. Then multiply that result times 200 to find out what 110% of 200 is. So I'm going to my Desmos, and I'm going to take 1.1 times 200, and that comes out to be 220. So number 3 says, suppose that it is normal half hour of practice. A tennis player expends 280 calories of energy. How many calories would she need to expend if she were to give 110% effort? So she would have to give 110% of 280 calories. So 110 times 2.8. I'm sorry, 1.10 times 280 is 308 calories that she would have to give. 308 calories. The number 3 says a real estate agent developer is looking for investors to help fund a new condo complex. He promises 145% return on investment in 4 years. If you're interested in investing $30,000 and the developer follows through on his promise, how much money will you get back in 4 years? So you should get 145% of the 30,000. So that would be 1.45 times the 30,000. Let's go to Desmos to see what that comes out to be. So you would end up getting in return $43,500. Okay. Next topic, we're going shopping. So make sure you read through all of this. It says his wife has a Macy's credit card. They get coupons in the mail, kind of like Kohl's coupons, probably. On one recent mall outing, we found a red dress with a selling price of $79, and we had 2 coupons to choose from. One offers $15 off any purchase of $50 or more, and the other offers 20% off any item. Which was a better choice? So I'm comparing $15 off compared to 20% of 79. So 20% of 79 is 0.2 times 79 is $15.80, which is more than the $15. So the 20% coupon is better. Keeping in mind that you just found out the price would be discounted, which coupon should Kat have used, explained. So I just said that the 20% coupon is better because she would say $15.80 instead of 15. Number 6 says the sales tax in our country in their county is 6.5%. Find the amount of tax on the dress purchase after applying the coupon that you chose and the total cost including tax. So I'm going to take the $79 and I'm going to subtract the $15.80 because that's the coupon. So that means the sale price is $63.20. Plus I need to find 63.20 times 0.065 for the tax, the sales tax. So I'm just gonna 63.20 times 0.065. So the sales tax, when you round appropriately, should be $4.11 when you round up. So 411 plus the 63.20. So the total with the sales tax should be $67.31 after you pay the sales tax. $79 subtracting the discount. So the sale price is $63.20, and I calculated the sales tax on $63.20, and I added it. So that's your final cost. Okay. So question number 7 was, it's common for stores to advertise a certain percentage off on, then say discount is reflected in the marked price, leaving you to trust that you're getting the percent off that they claimed. Suppose that a refrigerator is listed at 30% off with the sale price of $749. What would that make the original selling price? Okay, so if you go back to the self example, that will help as well. I'm going to think of it as my sale price is equal to, because my sale price is what I'm paying, so I have to use the percentage that I'm paying. So the percent paying times the original price. So in this case, we know the sale price is $749, and the percent we're paying is going to be 1 minus the percent off. Because the percent that you're paying plus the percent that you're discounted should add to make 100%. So if I take 1 minus my percent, I got a discount on 0.30. That means that we're paying 70% of the price. So my 749 should be equal to what I'm paying, the percent, which is 0.7, 70% of the price times the original P, which I don't know. So I'm trying to solve for P. So currently I'm multiplying 0.7 times P. So to solve for P, I'm going to divide by 0.7. And so I have to divide over here by 0.7. So we're going to go to Desmos and take 749 and divide by 0.7. So it looks like the original cost of the refrigerator is $1,070. I encourage you to write these formulas down in words right here to help you in Alex's homework. Number 8 says a large latte at Shakey's Caffeine Shack usually sells for the low price of $3.50, but today Shakey has gone goofy and is offering it for just $3. Wow. Why not just give them away? The coffee shop across the street is offering 20% off. Which store is offering the better deal? So Shakey's they're offering number 3 and they usually sell for $3.50. So Shakey's has, it looks like a 50-cent savings today. And the coffee shop is 20% off. So that means I'm going to find out, I could find out what percent 50 cents is. of that, or we could say 20% of the 350. So 20.2 times the 350 and figure out what percent that would be if you got 20% off the regular 350. So that comes out to be 70 cents. So it looks like the 20% off coupon is a better deal because you're going to save 70 cents. The better deal. Okay. So the percentage you found in question 8 is called the percent decrease. It's the amount that some quantity is decreased as a percentage of the original amount. Similarly, percent increase is the amount of increase as a percentage of the original amount. So we could also look and see what this 50 cents represents, because if you're saving 50 cents out of the 350, we could take 0.5 and divide it by 350 and find out what percentage discount that would be. And that would have only been about a 14.3% discount, 14.28. Negative because it went down 14.3%. So there's a formula that we're going to use. If you're given the amount of increase or decrease, you can just do that amount of decrease or increase divided by the original amount. Or you can take, if you have the exact amounts, you could take the new amount and subtract the original and then divide by the original to create your amount of increase, or the new amount minus the original to create your amount of decrease. It's always divided by the original. That's the key. So make sure that you're writing these formulas down too on a note sheet to have accessible for your ALEKS work and your ALEKS test. So let's look at question number 9. It says, in 2019, the state minimum wage in Missouri was raised from $7.85 to $8.60. In Massachusetts, it went from 11 to 12. Which state had the higher percent increase? So let's look at Missouri. So they went from $7.85 to $8.60. So it's the original, the new amount minus the original divided by the original. So the new amount is the $8.60 and the $7.85 is the original. So it's $8.60 minus $7.85 divided by $7.85. And then the Massachusetts is 12 minus 11 divided by 11. So that's going to be 1 out of 11. And this one, we have to find the difference and divide by 785. So that's going to be 0.75 cents out of 785. So let's go to Desmos and calculate those together. So 0.75 divided by 785. So Missouri had an increase of 9.55%. And it looks like Massachusetts had an increase of 9.09%. It looks like Missouri's increased percentage-wise more than Massachusetts. You can skip number 10. And then let's go to page 14. So problems 11 and 12. So it says a department store advertised that certain merchandise was reduced 25%. Also, an additional 10% discount card would be given to the first 200 people who entered the store on a specific day. The advertisement then stated that this amounted to a 35% reduction in the price of an item. Explain why the store marketing manager is either a liar or bad at math. Show calculations to back up your explanation. So let's say that we were going to spend $100 originally on an item. It says it was reduced 25%. So 25% of 100 is $25. So we would take the 100 and subtract the 25, and then we would be at 75. And then it said an additional 10% was going to be taken for those 200 people. So if we take our new price of 75 and then take 10% of 75, we'll save in another $7.50. So 75 subtracting the additional $7.50 gets us to $67.50 will be the new price. Now, had it just been 35% off like they thought, then it would have been 100 times 0.35, which would have been a savings of $35. Or they would have paid only $65. But it wasn't a whole 35% off. It was only 25% off the original 100 and then 10% off the remaining balance of 75. So that's why it's actually $2.50 more than what they thought of the 35%. Okay, last question. Number 12, in promotional materials, a company that has increased their workforce from 1,000 to 1,500 workers claimed that they hired 50% more workers. A rival of theirs bragged about decreasing emissions from 1,500 to 1,000 cubic feet per day, claiming a 33% reduction. Which company is lying? Explain. So let's look at the workers situation. If they went from 1,000 to 1,500, that means their new is 1,500, subtracting 1,000 out of the 1,000. So they increased by 500 workers out of the 1,000, which is definitely 50% increase. So that is a true statement by the company about workers. Then the other company about emissions, let's look at that question here. So their emissions went from 1,500 to 1,000. So that means they're now at 1,000, subtracting the original 1,500 emissions out of the original 1,500. So they went down by 500 cubic feet in emissions out of the 1,500. Which is indeed a 33% drop. So it turns out that they're both correct. And that's because with the same numbers, this one increased by 500 out of 1,000, and this one decreased by 500 out of 1,500. So that's why they both ended up being correct. So it's important that you're writing down on a separate sheet of paper all of the formulas that we've been learning about, especially today, the one on percent increase and decrease. I would definitely have that on your note sheet along with how to find some sales discounts. Catch me back for lesson 1, 2.